Lilian Black, you're the chairperson of the Holocaust Survivors Friendship Association, and you're leading what is a very exciting project indeed. We're going to create the Holocaust Heritage and Learning Centre for the North.
We are.
And that is going to be housed at the University of Huddersfield in the Heritage Quay at the university. Just tell us a little bit about it. Well, you know, perhaps where the idea came from and what you hope to see at the end of the day.
Well, I suppose for the past 5 or 6 years, with the support of the Holocaust, the Heritage Lottery Fund, we've been able to collect all the photographs, we've been able to digitise and record the survivors' stories, stories about their flight from countries across the whole of Europe, their experiences in the death and the concentration camps, experiences about young people who came on the Kinder transport or were actually in hiding. They were hidden by Christian families. And we've gathered this wonderful array of materials, photographs, evidence of our survivors' persecution. And it's just come to a natural point in a way. It's a point in time where we're thinking about the fact we have the living legacy now, but we need to find a home. And through a quite lengthy process and a feasibility study, we came to the conclusion that the home for what we consider is a very important part of our family heritage, we decided it should be at the University of Huddersfield. The whole purpose of the activity is really for future generations to learn about our sad past so that we can learn the lessons and our fate, our past fate, does not become our future again. And sadly, of course, we're living in a world where it has repeated itself, but we've got hope, we have great hope that through education we can help people understand better how it happened, why it happened, and importantly, why we have to stand up, speak out today against all forms of persecution in any shape or form. We will produce a timeline of events, so we will probably start from about 1933 and we will take people through the timeline and we will wish to reflect the extent of the Holocaust, recognising that it was the Jewish community, it was the Roma, and indeed it was people with disabilities who were specifically targeted for genocide, but of course other groups were caught up and sent into the concentration camp system as slave labourers, so they suffered terribly also. So we will wish to reflect the breadth of the experience so that people can actually understand that it impacted on all communities. But of course the extent to which the Jewish Holocaust happened was so systematic, it embraced all countries across the whole of Europe. And if you imagine every village, every town, every city with a Jewish community, how all those people were rounded up and subject to a specific policy of genocide, we need to naturally reflect the extent to which that happened. But it was 6 million Jews and of course it was 6 million other people impacted on. We have very strong links with the Association of Jewish Refugees, the Wiener Library, the Jewish Archives in Glasgow. So we will, and of course the contacts we've got with Bergen-Belsen in Germany, with Buchenwald concentration camp, with Auschwitz, our contact with Yad Vashem in Jerusalem. So all this connectivity will be capable of being marshalled and brought to bear within this centre in in Huddersfield. So it's absolutely fantastic, actually. It's amazing.
It is, and many thanks to the Heritage Lottery Fund who
absolutely,
guaranteed the money for this. When do you see it being finished then? Because obviously we're at the very start now.
Well, we are.
Plans have been drawn up.
Yeah.
In fact, you showed me the plans just a bit earlier. When do you see it all coming to fruition? When will we open?
We will open in March 2018. That is the plan. But we have a number of stages to go through. I mean, we are now entering what's called stage 1, which is the, if you like, the business planning phase. We've already got very comprehensive plans because without those plans, the Heritage Lottery Fund would not have endorsed this. So we have the stage 1 application. The stage 2 application will be submitted in December of this year, and then the committee will meet in March next year, 2016. And if we get the go-ahead, which unless we make a terrible mess of the business plan, which we won't do, then we will start the actual work in April 2016, and it will be concluded in March 2018. That's the plan.
It's going to be a marvellous thing.
Wonderful.
And marvellous for the north of England, because something like this could have, like so many things, could have been housed in the capital. But it's not. It's going to be in the north of England and very central as well for people to get to, which is the main reason for it being. Really.
Well, there has been the Prime Minister's Commission looking at how we should, in a more fitting way, commemorate the Holocaust. So the findings of the Commission are that the investment in a fitting memorial and learning site will actually be in London, and I absolutely understand that. However, there is this enormous gap in the north of England, and this is the opportunity that we are responding to, because the Holocaust Survivors Friendship Association, we speak to at least 15,000 people every year. We have a website that, in fact, I just looked at the statistics, and in the last 4 weeks we had over 30,000 visitors to that website, which has only been going for a relatively short time, and we're dealing with so many inquiries. It's unbelievable. And of course in Yorkshire alone we've 5.5 million people from a very diverse background. And it's quite difficult for schools either to afford the time or the funding to visit some of the, anywhere in London, to go to the Imperial War Museum, for example. I mean, from day one, this has always been a survivor-driven and led organisation. I'm personally not a survivor, I'm second generation. My father is a Holocaust survivor, so hence my interest. But it's always been the survivors who've given their time, their commitment to go out there into the community to help educate today's generations about their past. So it's absolutely the survivors who are driving this development. And I may be the chair, but I'm doing as they tell me. Absolutely.
The University of Huddersfield, inspiring tomorrow's professionals.